how we have our trackers here just to track some different things that we collect along the way. We have our charms here. We'll have our abilities down here. A bunch of other collectible stuff up here. And then just making it clear that I do have some mods ready to go in the background, but I probably won't be using them today. We might, depending on whether it makes sense to. I'll probably be saving these for a follow-up stream if it seems like it's gonna take a while for us to get to the end of the game. Because my main goal is we're here for the lore, not so much for the getting lost and the challenge aspects at this particular moment. That's what I would be bringing the whatever whenever streams back for, so that we could take our time with more of the side content of this game. Just so that was all cleared up right up front. Is this for you? It can be, if you want it to be. With Silksong releasing, I was planning to do a replay of Hollow Knight. Or at least it was something I was contemplating a couple weeks ago. And only this past week I really was like, yes, okay, we probably should, because Hornet is in this game, and Hornet is kind of important to Silksong being the main protagonist, so it took a lot of work. Like, this might be the most preparation I've ever had to do for a stream, to be honest. This was a lot of work and studying and preparation, but hopefully it'll all pay off. I'm gonna clear out save number 4 because that's where we're gonna be starting. I did warm back up. I think what was it, like a night or two ago. I followed someone's casual speed playthrough route and did manage to beat the game in under 3 hours without very many. There's only like a couple of pretty simple skips, so that's pretty handy. Don't look at these files. We're gonna go. We're gonna leave that alone. We're gonna leave that alone. Let's get into the game. I don't want to spoil too much up front. It's not a mod. That first file is vanilla. Wilds beyond, they speak your name with reverence and regret. For none could tame our savage souls, yet you, the challenger. The palest watch, you taught, we changed, these instincts. I can't read the last line, because my brain is cheap. Ooh. Love me some Fanta. Yeah, the other save files are unmodded. This is the only modded playthrough that I've ever done. And it's only to help reduce some of the potential slowdown and friction from standard gameplay, just because we're mainly focusing on lore today. We're just going that for now. Same thing there. Okay. Now that we're actually in the game, I can explain some more of the mods that I have installed. One of them is a death counter, so we'll just always have that up there. I just thought that would be kind of fun to have. On my normal art style for games, but the art is very pretty. I agree, this is a very well stylized game. Very, very nice. I prefer not to have a death counter, thank you very much. Yeah, for normal play, like if you're just playing on your own, you probably don't need it. And in some ways, you arguably are better off without it. But I thought since I'm streaming it, it would be kind of neat to have it visible. Depending on how we play through and all that, doesn't really make all that much of a difference. It might not be super accurate, considering some of the mod assistance I may be using later on. But, you know, for the heck of it, why not? Now, the same mod does also have a damage counter, just the number of times you get hit. I want to go for this. You know what? I'll try it. Where am I going? Just for the fun of it. I probably won't be using this charm. But since it's right here, I might as well. Does give us a little bit of extra money, too. It'll be helpful. My only beef with the graphics so far, sometimes I'm not clear on things I can and can't interact with. Pretty sure I missed that upgrade to the health. I realized I couldn't go through the wall. Yeah. That is a little bit, I can see how that would be a bit of a pain point for some people. I'm kind of the same way. And that's part of why I'm not going to be going out of my way to collect a bunch of things. We're mainly going through... That's why I have the mod assistance, so we're not reliant on exploration to go through and experience the lore around. Higher beings, these words are for you alone. Your great strength marks you amongst us. Focus your soul, you shall achieve feats of which others can only dream. By the way, here's how you heal. But yes, lore-wise, since we're here for lore, I should probably actually talk about lore as we're getting along here. Not vampiric at all. Absolutely not. Couldn't possibly be. Higher beings, these words are for you alone. Beyond this point, you enter the land of King and Creator. Step across this threshold and obey our laws. Bear witness, the last and only civilization, the eternal kingdom, Hallownest. Let's bust open the door. Very cool moment. Off we go, and you can see the remnants of the bridge that used to take people from up there down to Dirtmouth. Let's see. Well, it doesn't have any downsides, so we might as well have it equipped now. As a last-ditch effort kind of thing. Oh there, traveler. I'm afraid there's only me left to offer welcome. Our town's fallen quiet, you see. The other residents, they've all disappeared. Head down that well, one by one, to the caverns below. Used to be there was a great kingdom beneath our town. It's long fell to ruin, yet it still draws folks into its depths. Wealth, glory, enlightenment, that darkness seems to promise all things. I'm sure you too seek your dreams down there. Well, watch out. It's the sickly air that fills the place. Creatures turn mad, and travelers are robbed of their memories. Perhaps dreams aren't such great things after all. Now, if you know, you know. That line about perhaps dreams aren't so great after all is astonishingly relevant to basically everything that's going on. I probably can't go back up to where you got that stuff. Potentially not yet. I think it's... I imagine it is something you could probably get back to. I haven't been back up there in years, so I wouldn't be able to tell you off the top of my head, but I'm sure there is a way if you have the means to do so. Head on down here. Go say hello to my favorite boy, Cornifer. Hmm? Ah, hello there. Hello there. Come down to explore these beautiful old ruins. Don't mind me. I have a fondness for exploring myself. Getting lost and finding your way again is a pleasure like no other. We're exquisitely lucky, you and I. I'm a cartographer by trade. I'm working on mapping this area right now. Would you like to buy a copy of my work so far? I will be doing that, thank you. I'm going to be making use of this map. The map can be a useful thing, but it alone won't show you where you are. If you've not the head for directions, I suggest purchasing a compass from my wife, Iselda. She's just now opening our new map shop in Dirtmouth, selling all sorts of useful things to wanderers like yourself. She'll even sell some of my old maps from time to time. I pop back to see her whenever I finish mapping an area. She's always so excited to see me. Cornifer is a cool dude. He is very, very helpful, especially on initial playthroughs of this game. Being able to have even some idea of what the world around you is kind of looking like, let alone being able to navigate it. Very, very useful. Head back down here. Grab this money. Uh-oh, we're locked in. Unfortunately for them, I'm also locked in, if you know what I mean. Alright, so I'm trying to grab a good amount of geo early on, that we can acquire some good goods early on. Ooh. I've misplayed. There goes the damage this playthrough, because that was totally happening. It is a little bit tricky to see what is and is not interactable in terms of exploration at times. But in a way that is kind of an interesting choice. Because I think it does feed into, if you take it from a world, like a world building perspective, I think it does offer a very interesting bit of environmental storytelling, that this place is an old forgotten land with plenty of equally long forgotten nooks and crannies to explore. Remind myself, I'm not sure, remember. There is a particular area I'd like to go to for a particular reason. Let's first speak to a new friend. Greetings, little one. It's been an age since I last heard the ringing of a station bell. It echoed down the stagways and called me to you. I've grown stiff and tired over these many years. I've forgotten much. The sound of the bell will always call me back. These stagways stretch the depths of Hallownest. Want to travel there? Hail me from the platform. I will take you where you need to go. I realize I'm covering up the names a little bit, so that is the last stag. So back when Hallownest was a flourishing kingdom, there were these stagway stations set up all over the kingdom as a means for people to get back and forth without having to traverse all of the tunnels on foot. Let me see. I think we can afford what I can afford from this place.
Bapanada.
Bapanada. That's an old familiar one. I come to this shop quite often because I am very, very keen on navigation. Having assistance in that department really make things easier. Come to buy a map, have you? It's really my husband you should be dealing with, but what a surprise! He's headed down below. He'll pop back occasionally to deliver new maps for the store, but I do wish he'd spend a little more time up here. I've not much interest in retail myself. Now, let's see what's here for me to sell. Wayward Compass would be nice, but at the very least we can get the Quill. That will let us take our very, very sketchy looking maps. We head over to a bench. We get a little bit more definition. Those areas that are still kind of look sketchy, those are areas we have not been to yet and thus are not built in. So the map that Cornifer gives us has a little bit of the main pathways for whatever area's map we acquire, but the rest is up to us to fill in as we explore. One of the mods I have installed right now, I haven't gotten to test it out too much, so I don't know how consistently it works, but it should let us be able to fill out the map like this just by looking at the map as we're traveling, whereas normally you would have to sit at a bench to perform that action. Again, the main reason I have that is for the sake of convenience. that we're less likely to get lost. Yeah, so these stagways are all connected by a series of their own tunnels. And connected to the stagways somewhere is the stag nest, which is the home of all the stags, just where they go to hang out whenever they're not doing their thing, being a public transit service. Save our first little grub. We like these little guys. Grub is very good. Up this area up here, need to take a brief little detour here. One, for a little bit more money, because that is important. I have several things early on I want to acquire, but also want to head up here, I believe. Eat this guy. Play it patient and careful. Dark Souls has taught me well. That is one thing that I feel very particularly well prepared for when it comes to this game. At least when it comes to the overworld exploration. Going through and learning where to pick your moments to attack. It's a very valuable skill. Because going in without a plan can be potentially catastrophic. Try and remember where I need to go for this other boss, so I might get a little tiny bit lost here. Explore a little bit. Don't think we need to be in there. Let's go over here. This is a tram station we can't use yet. Yeah, we don't have a tram pass. It's a no-go. Where? Oh, where? There you are. I found her. Need to have another crack at that guy. Didn't manage to get that cart train deal or some of these areas. Yeah, I mean, there is a lot to explore. So, I think that's part of why they have Corniver so early on, is to really just have someone in the game to actively encourage getting lost and just seeing what you find along the way. Hello, Gross Mother. Unfortunately, you're blocking my door. So... I need to get through. One thing that's always a bit of an adjustment when starting a new playthrough is I don't have all of my mobility. So I have to fight my muscle memory on how to dodge things. Because early on, your only real major form of defense is spacing. Basically just not being where the enemy is going to be attacking. The reason we came up here, very specifically, this hut right here. We have this guy right here.
Oh,
Oro, you wield your nail like a club. Esme, how much deeper do we have to go?
Oh,
Oh,
Papa.
what? Who are you? See, this old village. What a strange dream to have led me down here. If you hadn't found me, I don't think I would have ever woken. I'm Sly. Usually, I live an uneventful life up in Dirtmouth. Air in these ruins doesn't agree with me, so I'd best be getting back. If you return above, come and see me. I'm probably the friendliest face left there. I can thank you properly for your good deed. Now, finding him is very helpful for my early purchases. Now, here's something else to consider as well. Since the last bench I sat at was at that stag station, which is pretty much right where we need to be. If you save and quit, the place you get returned to is the last bench you sat on. So this is a technique that people refer to as bench warping. So instead of having to make the trek all the way back up here, from where we had gone all the way down to the right there, we can just be back up here. Just a little bit of a time saver. If you know where and when to use it. Now, we don't technically have to fight this guy, but I want the money. Because, like I said, I have a lot of purchases that I wish to make while we're here. Any more up here? Is another funny little geocache up here. I have to follow on with your vodka knife, but maybe a few hours into it, I missed a bunch. Yeah, there's a lot of winding paths and stuff like that. I would think for a first playthrough, you probably gain more benefit from not using bench warping because you've learned how the world interconnects a little bit more. So you get more used to the layout of the map and all that sort of stuff. Bench warping is mainly useful in a situation like mine where I have a pretty decent idea of where I need to be and can use that to save some time. Hello, false knight. So this armor belonged to a knight. What was funny little dude? This armor belonged to a knight named Hegemon. He was one of the 5 great knights of Hallownest. But now, in his absence, a grub has taken the armor for himself to try and protect his kin, I think. But unfortunately, we need to go through here. It's something I didn't know about until when I was doing my research for this. After that first dagger, where the grub comes out of the armor for the first time, you can actually break the wall here and leave the boss if you want to. But you do miss out on a couple of rewards if you do that. So I'm gonna finish him up. I didn't know about that until, well, basically this week. Oh no! Broke the floor. Get one more heal. And boss time is over for now. get the city crest, which is useful. And we also get a buttload of money, which I also find very useful. Before we move on, turns out his club was a bug the whole time. Is that not just a wonderful little detail? Now that I think about it, I kind of wonder if that inspired in Deltarune. If when you fight C round, I think it is. Well, I guess it's both of them. It's K round. When you finish the fight and he rolls away at the end of it, I wonder if that's partially inspired by this in some way. That's always a fun little gag. Just like, just such a silly little subversion of expectation. Yeah, so Hegemal, the knight who used to have that armor, one of the 5 great knights of Hallownest. We'll be meeting at least 1 or 2 more, I think, along our way. But first things first, we have a snail shaman. Oh, who is that creeping out of the darkness? Ah, you're looking grim. A strange, empty face and a wicked-looking weapon. Something important has drawn you down into Hallownest's corpse, but I won't ask what. Perhaps the reason you found me is because you need my help? Say no more, friend. I'm going to give you a gift. Nasty little spell of my own creation. It's just perfect for a little one like you. Magic! Nap time. Now we have Vengeful Spirit. So now we have a spell. One thing I always found really interesting too is there are certain moments like that where you actually have to attempt to move before the character will wake up. That's that's always a nice little bit of immersion, I suppose. Just like they don't automatically get up on their own. You have to actively try to do something. Vengeful Spirit, this is basically a little tutorial area that will teach us the value of Vengeful Spirit. But we will get there. You will see what it's all about. It is not mobility, I will say that much. Oh ho, you've woken at last. I apologize. Perhaps I should have warned you about the power of that spell. I was watching over you as you slept, but seemed to have slipped away myself. Now we're awake, I was wondering whether you would do me a small favor. Not as repayment for my gift, of course. Simply because we're now friends. You see, a horrid great beast has made its home in the heart of this temple. Such disrespect. I would be quite grateful if you were to venture deeper in and slay it for me. It's a hardy creature, but with your new power, you're more than a match for it. Good luck with this small favor, my friend. Yeah, you know, friends give each other quests all the time. That's how it works, right? It's like Papyrus from Undertale. All you have to do to make friends is just give them really awful puzzles to solve. Self-admission, by the way. He himself volunteers that as a description of his puzzles. I would never diss the papyrus puzzles. Yeah, as you make more progress, there are mobility items that can be found along the way. But not quite yet. We have this funny little dude. He spits stuff at us, including enemies. But if we get close to him, he blocks himself off. We can't hit him with the nail. Our only option is to use our new spell. Damn, forgot he doesn't bounce. Now the thing to keep in mind with our new spell is it uses the same resource that we use to heal. Well, that's just unfortunate. It uses soul, which we also need for healing. But it is powerful, especially early on in the game. It has a pretty decent amount of damage. So it's certainly not a bad tool to have in the toolkit. Another charm, Soul Catcher. Yeah, with Vengeful Spirit now in our repertoire, the game gets a bit more of a, it's more of a push-pull sort of play style that you can go for. Because you don't regenerate soul automatically, you have to go in and hit enemies with your nail to get more soul. But the Vengeful Spirit spell does now give you the option to do a little bit more at range, and with some decent power. Figured it was to go back and collect the deal, but also not certain what. Yeah, early on, there's probably going to be a good amount of wondering whether or not it's something you're supposed to be able to get to. Later on, you will start getting more mobility grades and things like that, so you'll be able to start exploring more readily, more openly. Oh, so it's done then. Slain the beast. Poor thing. It must have been terrified of you. It used to be quite docile. The rancid air in these caverns filled it with some ancient rage. Still, you did what had to be done. You have my gratitude. Of course, we both know you wouldn't have made it through without that spell of mine. Oh. And look, the gate between us has opened. Oh. I'm sure you're eager to move on. Farewell, and have faith. Whatever you are seeking, it will find you. The most ominous way it could be phrased. Yes, so instead of Fury of the Fallen, we'll put on Soul Catcher, because this will increase the amount of soul we gain when we strike enemies with the nail. Very nice that they have that findable right after you are able to recognize the value of having the spell. So if you go through an area and you happen to miss Cornifer, he'll leave. When he leaves, he will leave behind. I always thought of this. It looks like a cassette, but I'm not entirely sure. I think it might be a piece of paper with his bespoke spectacles pictured upon it. But I always thought of it as like a cassette or a VHS tape kind of thing. I think it's supposed to be a note. Sorry I missed you. If you're feeling lost, why not pop up to our store in Dirtmouth and purchase a map of this area? Available now for an excellent price. Signed Cornifer. Yeah, whenever you're exploring a new area, especially, if you find these little scatterings of paper and you hear his humming with the little you can try to follow the humming and track down Cornifer and get yourself a map of the area. It might not be a super robust amount of information. Certainly better than nothing. One thing that also took me a lot of time to get used to when I played this for the first time, just getting used to the physics of the nail. Just the fact that it would shove me back when I attacked enemies. Just getting used to that counter force was a big learning curve for me. And hey, those grubs we saved earlier, they end up here with the Grub Father. So the more grubs we rescue, the more rewards we can get from the Grub Father. And it's not just money. At certain numbers of grubs rescued, he does have some other very handy rewards. Nothing strictly required for progression by any means. But just some nice to have things. Now that we're here in Dirtmouth, let's go visit Sly's shop. Hello. I knew we'd meet again. How do you like my cozy little store? I've made myself pretty comfortable here, selling old trinkets to travelers like yourself. If you're planning a trip below, I've several items that may improve your chance of survival. We're not gonna buy the mask shard or the vessel fragment right away. Simple key is quite expensive, and there are other ones we can find elsewhere. The main reason I'm here is Gathering Swarm. This charm is very, very nice for the early game, especially. We will want to come back here when we have a lot more money. The Lumafly Lantern is... It's like a soft requirement, I guess. It's not technically required, but there are some places that are going to be incredibly difficult to traverse without it. I didn't even remember or realize the shop was here since passing through. Well, it depends on whether you find Sly down in that lower sort of village area. If you find him down there and talk to him, then he comes back up here. Let's see, I think I could also afford...
Papanada.
Yes, the Wayward Compass. Very, very helpful. Let's see. Let's think about... We have very limited charm notches. I want Gathering Swarm, but I also want to be able to see myself on the map. That would take up too many notches. So what if we do that? And then here's something that I don't remember if I knew about this or not when I first played. You can't equip it because you don't have enough notches. But if you're stubborn and keep trying, You can actually become over-charmed. I definitely never did this on my first playthrough because I didn't even know it was a thing. So you can technically equip more charms than you have notches for. The consequence of such is that you take double damage. You're more fragile as a result. So it is risk reward. I think early on I could probably afford to go for it. I could also just not have, I think the safer option is I probably don't need Soul Catcher. So I'll play it safe. It is interesting to note that that is there. And that's like, I didn't even know about that on my first playthrough. I just had no idea that Overcharmed was even a mechanic in this game. Yeah, very cool way of balancing it out though. Where it's like, yeah, you can have, like, if you're willing to put yourself at additional risk of dying, sure, you can have more stuff equipped. If you really want to run that risk. The Pilgrim's Way. Travelers of Hallownest, descend through verdant wilds and fungal grove, the city at this kingdom's heart. There all wishes shall be granted, all truths revealed. One thing that's interesting to note is we have the bugs like Iselda and Sly running shops up at the surface. They seem pretty sentient and all that. They've clearly got some pretty strong intellect to work with. Ooh. It's getting a little spicy. Give me another one. Still here while we discuss lore. Excuse me. Rude. So we have more intelligent bugs, but we also have just the simple-minded bugs kind of crawling around doing whatever. So there was an ancient civilization of bugs that used to live in where the kingdom of Hallownest is now. At some point in time, they disappeared. Only trace remnants of their existence remain in long-forgotten corners of the kingdom. Later on, there were other tribes that made their home here, even before the kingdom of Hallownest was established. Greenpath is one of those places. Greenpath is the way that it is because a higher being known as Un dreamed this place into existence, basically. They had a dream of lush green natural areas, and that is how Greenpath came to be. And these guys here are the Mosskin. They were also brought about by the dream of Un. Some of them, not all of them, but some of them have been taken by this orange infection. I won't talk too much about what the orange infection is yet, because we will be getting more into that in later lore points. So the Moskin were one of the primary tribes that was here before the Kingdom of Hallownest was founded. And we'll get to see some more of the other tribes as we travel along. Where we are right now is the Pilgrim's Path. And this is a path that leads all the way down to the actual city at the center, the kind of the central hub of Hallownest. That's where the primary kingdom area was, down in the city. But who was that funny little fellow? Gosh, they look familiar. I wonder if they might be important. Now here's a fun little spot I get to show off. Something of a speed tree. I need you, sir. Come back here. I need you. Let me bounce off of you. Because we can skip a whole bunch of circuitous navigating just by doing that. How wild is that? Come here. And bounce off you again. Just for the sake of it. Whee. Just a fun little skip that cuts down on some of the navigation we would otherwise have to do to make our way all the way around to here. Okay. I'll watch out for these guys. I wanted to go up here and get some money, but first, watch out for snappers. When the Kingdom of Hallownest was established, the Moskin did allow the Pale King, founder of Hallownest, they were allowed to create this King's Road through Green Path with the warning that stepping off of the path, if for those who stepped off the path, they would be subject to the laws of basically, nature is going to do what nature does. You step off of the paved road kind of thing. That was the extent of their collaboration with the Kingdom of Hallownest. I don't remember exactly where I need to go here. Been a little bit lost from my mind, but that is sometimes how the game goes. I think this is the right one. I suppose we can open this up. What? Let's see, I think I may have gone too far left. Excuse me. One other skill that is very valuable to learn, and I've already demonstrated its utility a few different times, is what is colloquially known as pogoing. Basically, learning to use those downward aerial strikes to propel yourself in the air. Not only useful for navigation, but also for combat. There are some bosses, and one in particular that I can think of right off the top of my head. Where being able to pogo effectively makes the boss a lot easier to handle. Let's see, where does this go? I don't need to be here. I'm trying to remember where I need to go from here because I only did the route once. Yeah, it's certainly not a super easy thing to get a hold of, and I still mess it up. I still mess it up every so often. Just learning the spacing can be a lot. Let me take a quick moment here. This is why I had a map ready, because I am lost already. Let me just take a look at where we are right now. Where are we? We're in that room. I'm a silly. I needed to go up when it went down. I took a wrong turn at the Albuquerque. Let's get back on track here. Here's me. Yeah, so part of why we are here in the Kingdom of Hallownest is there is this orange infection that has been spreading to the residents of this area. And you can tell which enemies have been affected by it. They usually have the orange eyes, and when you hit them, orange stuff comes out of them. Or they will attack with orange attacks, like the orange projectiles, stuff like that. You can see that not every enemy is infected with it, because this is just a normal Mothskin. They're not at least as infected as the others. This looks right, okay. Need to go a little further up. Actually, hold on. I'm gonna go over here. Because we've got Moss Guard. Oops. Came out swinging. Does he attack up ever? I don't remember. I honestly don't remember if he does. Yeah, dealing with shielded enemies. Certainly having the ability to at least somewhat circumnavigate their shields can be very handy. Yeah, this looks right. See what you mean with the lore story. It seems like it ties into the visuals for quite a lot of meaning that I would likely have been missing. Yeah, that's why preparing for this game was so challenging, because it's like I'm trying to brush up on all of this lore, and I'm sure there's stuff I'm missing even now, having watched lore retrospective videos and all that. But I'm trying my best to cover at least the core most important points that are directly relevant to what we're doing here and how things got the way they did. But also, this guy. This freaking guy. Let's save him. Get out of here, Vengefly. Come here. Another good use case for pogoing. And spells if you got them. Which you kind of have to if you're already here. Behold the value. know if it was too late when I was told it, didn't realize the grub father were ones I'd rescued, and that it was a standing mission, as it were, to rescue them, as opposing to them being baddies to kill. Yeah, there are certain moments where it's kind of not 100% clear, but I feel like over time you start to pick up on a pattern potentially. Where it's like, oh, I'm seeing these grubs around and they just kind of disappear when I free them. If you come across the grub father area, then you start to notice, oh, there's more grubs here when I revisit them. Wonder how that's happening. Well, let's listen to what this man has to say. Just what do you think you're doing? You dare to come between me and my prey? Is it a habit of yours to scurry about, getting in the way and causing bother? Know this, cur. I am Zote the Mighty, knight of great renown. It's me again, and you'll find out why they call my weapon Life Ender. Brother, I already know why your weapon is called Life Ender. You might be able to pick up from the way he talks, but he's definitely, he is kind of full of it. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. But he's fun. He's fun in his own way. Oh, right. You got your little, you got your grass ball attack. Get over here. Oh, he got me. I will say, getting the Gathering Swarm charm is very useful early on, because you don't have to worry about picking up all these little pieces of geo that are scattering around. You just have these funny little flies that do it for you. Okay, get out here. Get out here where I can pogo you. Whoa. Man's dodging. Get over here. There we go. I want this money. Very, very helpful. Good chunk of change off of that. You want to deal with this guy, because he's protecting another grub. Ow. Ow. I got stuck on the ceiling. A little overhang caught me. Be free! I love their little sounds. They're so good. This down, and good. We'll progress further. We also have these signs around. These point to stag stations. They've got a picture of a little stag head on it. Also destroy them. And voila, like magic, they fix themselves as soon as you leave. I will say, there is one funny thing about destroying background elements like that, like the signs. This game actually has an in-universe explanation for the signs getting remade, like rebuilt. Let's talk to our buddy here again. This place has much changed since I last saw it. Greenery grows so wild, the stations like to be consumed by it. Yeah, part of the last stag's plight is that they don't remember where Stagnest is. So one thing that we're doing by opening all of these Stagway stations, not only are we unlocking a form of fast travel between different points, we're also helping him slowly try to locate where Stagnest is, because if he goes through enough of the tunnels running throughout Hallownest, one of them has to lead to Stagnest, right? I think that's a fun character incentive. It's a fun character incentive reason to unlock fast travel. It's not just convenience for convenience's sake. It actually has a whole character arc built into it in a way, which is nice. Yeah, I think there's a rare chance, I don't remember how low the chance is, but there's a rare chance that after breaking one of these signs, if you return to the area, you will actually see a bug mending it. Aptly named the Mender bug. And he actually has a hut somewhere in the world. I don't remember where it is off the top of my head. But there is a bug that basically their whole deal is just, oh, if there's a sign broken, I fix it. That is a really nice little extra thing. It's always the little extra things that stand out a lot when you kind of realize how many different things there are going on. Really nice. I can see why this game is so popular and Silksong was so anticipated. Absolutely. The combat mechanics they have a very high skill ceiling, especially with stuff like the pogoing. Getting really good at that is one of the big skill ceiling kind of mechanics to get used to. But it's really fun. And yeah, character and lore and all that stuff. There is a good amount of lore. I have not even gone through a good chunk of how the kingdom came to be. But I think we're starting to get there because we're encountering tribes that have collaborated with the kingdom as it came to be. Even if that's a developer wanting to excuse them being lazy or low resources and not store every single thing destroyed on every screen. Yeah, I mean, there are so many games that just, you don't need an explanation. It's game logic. Just roll with it. Totally fine. I do love how, with where I'm positioned on the screen, I'm hiding something very important right now. Give me a moment to hide myself, and you'll see what I'm seeing here. Who is that? Who's that in the corner? Who's that in the spotlight? Oh, that's fun. Alright, down we go. Come no closer, ghost. I've seen you, creeping through the undergrowth, stalking me. This old kingdom, terrible thing awakens. I can smell it in the air. I know what you are. I know what you try to do. I can't allow it. It's time for Hornet. Adina! Shaw! So if you've ever seen people typing Shaw, this is where it comes from. Shaw! Oh, it hurts. Take that healing. Whoa! Shaw! Oh, Hornet. We love your combat vocalizations. They're very charming. The one thing you'll start noticing with a lot of bosses is there are thresholds where if you do enough damage, they'll stagger for a bit. That's usually a pretty good opportunity to get some healing in. Or if you're at full health, you can just hit them out of their stagger and just get an extra hit, basically. Like now. Didn't need the healing, so I can just get a hit for free. I do appreciate how they have a couple of built-in moments to heal and just get a moment to breathe. Particularly with the early game bosses. It's very, very nice that they have that in there. Well, off they go. See you later, Hornet. Now that we've met Hornet and heard their fun little combat vocalizations, I can do this. I have the Shaw button. And if you want to Shaw as well, you can Shaw. Shaw! Now that we've seen what we came to see, we have our post-battle reward. The Mothwing Cloak. This gives us a dash. Here is one of the mobility items that you are probably looking for too, and this will help. Not just with traversal, but also clearly for combat. Dashing is very, very helpful for dodging. You'll probably see me doing that with certain bosses pretty frequently. Yeah, you get to see a little bit of Hornet. We'll be seeing a lot more of her in Silksong for sure. But there are some other spots that they'll come back into relevancy throughout this game as well. Part of my preparation was trying to get an idea of where we would need to go to see Hornet the largest number of times to really get a proper context for her before we get into Silksong. And try to do it in context before just cracking open the lore book and doing it that way. Yeah, now we can not only dash on the ground, but also in the air. And it's on a pretty short cooldown. And it looks like the one in all the promos I see. Yeah, the nail is very... It's a very interesting design. It stands out quite a bit with its sort of spiral carving. But then also Hornet, Silksong, needle and thread. Very cool stuff. Now you may be wondering, well, we're still locked in the room. What do we do? Where do we go? Oh, the door. Well, let's go. Oh! Would it seek to break the seals? They cannot be undone. They must be undone. Let us sleep, little shadow. Return to your darkness. Allow us our peace. Oh. So that was a fun little experience, wasn't it? We just got assaulted by some spirits. Seems good. That gives our first real major hint as to what our long-term goal is. That being breaking the seals seems like something important that we are apparently here to do. So keep that in mind. Move forward as well. That's kind of our first majorly clear direction in terms of long-term goals. Let's head back to Dirtmouth real quick. Don't think there's anything else we need to buy right now, but now we have funny little Zote hanging out in Dirtmouth and a new traveler. That voice, very Squidward. Hail thing, you wear that nail with ease. If you're in search of combat, you'll find no great warriors in this decaying burrow. Their name is Tiso, by the way. I know I'm covering that up. I've heard an arena exists somewhere below. One built for our like. Meet me there, and we'll test what skills you possess. I'll be heading down soon. Come and find me, if you dare. Now, what he's referring to is the Colosseum of Fools. We won't be seeing that for quite some time. If we end up seeing it in this playthrough at all, it is totally optional. I think we'll be in the neighborhood of it maybe one time, if I remember correctly. Yeah, they're planting all sorts of little seeds of what to look out for as you're exploring. It's just like, oh, here's another place that people are talking about going to. I wonder if I'll ever see that place at some point. We did save another grub, so we might as well come back and grab that real quick. Let's go down here. Try and remember which way I need to go here. Soul gauge back up. Let's see. I think maybe to the left here. No, I don't think so. Trying to remember where this particular spot I need to go is. Is this the spot? Maybe. There we go. Might as well see what's over here, because I do remember coming through here. Oh, I know what this spot is. Okay, this is not where I need to be right now. We will be potentially coming back there later if I want to show off another possible skip. I won't worry about that right now. I need to remember where it is. Maybe? Let me take a quick look at my handy dandy helper map. Oh, it's there, I think. Okay. I need to go a little further right before I wrap back around. This is the way I need to go here. Because now that we have the dash, normally we couldn't make that jump up there. because that ledge is just a little too far away. Now that we have the ability to dash, we can make it over here. And down we go into the Bungle Wastes. We are going to be encountering more of these acid, and also very interesting fellow. Don't try to sneak past me. I can smell. Do you collect a lot of geo? Give me geo, and you can see something. Now. Yes, leg eater, I would like to see something nice. What a name, leg eater. Let me show you then. Take a look. Do you want them? If you really, really want them, I'll trade them for more geo. More geo. We have some fragile charms. I can't quite afford the one I'm looking for right now. These are very helpful. Being able to have higher maximum health. I think this makes enemies drop more geo when you defeat them. And this increases your nail's attack power. Now the reason they are fragile charms, the risk here is that if you die while you have a fragile charm equipped, it will break, and you'll need to come back here to get them repaired. So another risk-reward thing. They are pretty decent charms, especially the attack strength charm. I would grab it now if I had the money. I don't. We are just going to move along this way. Get to see the mushroom folk. Mushroom folk of the Bungle Wastes. They got some funny little moves. Whoa. Fallen. I get on with some stuff, but thanks for this. Of course. Glad to have you around, Toon. Glad you got to see a little bit of the early game stuff. Hopefully that helps give you more of an idea of where you can go to and start making some more headway on your own playthrough as well. Appreciate you hanging out. And if you ever have more questions about Hollow Knight and the lore, I'm here. I'll do my best to try and assist with that. This is the right way. No, this is not the right way. This is the Elder. I went the wrong way. I need to go left. I always make that mistake. I always go right instead of left there. Ooh. Ooh. Hello? The tiny steps of a tiny creature. You've got the look of an adventurer, so we've much in common. Searching for dangerous places, eh? We're on the right track. The long-necked critter warned me of a tribe deeper down. Warrior sorts, so she says, and I'm itching for some serious combat. Always good to see you, Cloth. Cloth is pretty cool. They're a fun character with a fun fun arc. If I play things right, we might actually get to see their full arc play out with the ending I'm planning to go for. But we'll see how that goes. We'll see how things end up. Guard. That open. Here. Oh, hi, Hornet. Hello. Fancy meeting you here. We just happen to be going this way too. I swear, I'm not stalking you. Here ends the pilgrim's way. Hallownest's heart lays open before you. Proceed onward, share in its glory. Unfortunately, can't get through here yet. This is not... It's not a solid bridge or anything there. Can't climb up this ledge here. Fortunately, we are out of luck. We're gonna have to head in a different direction. Watch these explosive spores that these little fungus stalks shoot out, because they are aggressively explosive. Here we see basically the outskirts of the Mantis tribe's village. The Mozkin owe their existence to the Mantis tribe. They're not beholden to any higher beings. They exist independent of any higher beings as far as we are aware. Hold on. I don't want to read that just yet. I'm still in a fight. Wanderers seeking death, welcome. May you find swift end upon our claws. Yeah, if that doesn't spell it out. The Mantis tribe are a warrior tribe. Their hierarchy is very much centered around combative prowess. So to get where you want to be in the Mantis tribe, you fight your way there. Killing if you have to. But being proficient in combat is the test of worthiness. Considering what type of game we're playing, I can imagine... You can imagine how that's going to pan out for us. One interesting thing to note about the Mantis tribe is the distinct lack of orange emanating from them as we fight them. The Mantis tribe, somehow, are immune to this orange infection that's been spreading across the kingdom. The means by which they are immune is not entirely... I don't think it's known for sure. I always do that. Get caught up on that little platform there. I want to rest at this bench. We need to go up. The Mantis village further up this way. Excuse me, pardon me, coming through. We do also have enough geo I could backtrack and get the to get the fragile strength charm. That would be helpful here. Would be helpful for a lot of things, actually. Just being able to do more damage. Pretty much always helpful. The reason I'm not pogoing these guys because they do have an upward attack that they can perform. If there's anything I've learned from one enemy in particular that exists in the city, I do not want to mess around with vertical attacks, especially when it's inconsistent when the enemy is going to perform them instead of a horizontal attack. I prefer to play it safe. This also marks a very important upgrade to our arsenal here. We have the Mantis Claw. This now lets us scale vertical walls. Very, very helpful. But now, as long as we have a flat wall to jump off of, verticality is much less of a hindrance. Very, very handy to have. Moving along quite nicely, I see. I think so. We're definitely trying to keep a good track. I know we're probably going to need another stream of this, though, because this is not a short game by any means. But hello, Jay. Welcome on in. The truce remains. Our vigil holds. The beasts kept at bay. That is referring to the Mantis tribe's agreement with the Pale King, where in exchange for their sovereignty, the Mantis tribe promised to keep the resident tribe of Deep Nest trapped within Deep Nest. We won't be seeing Deep Nest right away. We still got a little tiny bit of business to take care of before we get to Deep Nest. But I can say this much. The reason that Pale King wanted them to stay trapped back there, and why he made the agreement with the Mantis tribe to keep them trapped there, is because the Spider tribe of Deep Nest had basically world conquest levels of ambition. They actively wanted to take over the land themselves by force if needed. So they posed a threat to every other tribe that existed here. I'm going to backtrack a little bit, because I do want to grab that fragile strength charm before we go into the next couple of areas. Having a little bit of extra damage would be very nice. Yeah, how are you doing today, Jay? Hope all is going well with you. Here. while we're up here, once we get the fragile strength charm, I can also bring something else that will be helpful for us to have. Avoid. Oh, well, avoid the explosion there. A little close for comfort. Just gonna heal up a little bit. Those explosions do 2 damage, not just 1. Oh. Excuse me. Some attacks have been doing well. That's good. Always good to be doing well. I'm out here playing super sloppy right now. I do not deal well with the mushroom poke. I am doing pretty good. A little bit worn out yesterday between work being as busy as it was, specifically yesterday, but also spending basically a week of just trying to prepare for this, between the lore and brushing up on the lore and trying to remember where I need to go and what I need to do so that I'm not getting horribly lost as we play through. And a lot. I need that. We can get rid of Gathering Storm temporarily. Keep Fragile Strength on here. Not need to be doing double damage to myself here. We're gonna take a short little detour over here, just to this next room over. No big deal, just a nice green room with a big mushroom in it. They're hawking some pretty deadly loogies out here. I'm just gonna play it safe. Slam their head into the ground. Easy peasy. And that gives us an extra charm knot. Now we can put on that other gathering charm again real quick. I could have gone down here over-charmed, and then the charm knot would have un-over-charmed us, because we would then have enough slots. But I wanted to play it safe. There we go. Now we've got a pretty decent upgrade in power. I don't know if the nail damage thing shows it now. Yeah, I am doing, yeah, with this charm we have equipped, the Fragile Strength charm, that's 3 extra damage. So it's almost, it's a little over a 50% increase to our base level damage. It's certainly not nothing, especially when it comes to bosses with the larger health pools and all. It starts to add up. I lost right at the start. I won't watch too much. Got a playthrough going. That is totally fair. I respect that. I hope you have a wonderful time playing. There's a lot to love here. And I think Toon is also, I was able to kind of share some of that with Toon as well while they were hanging out in here. They're also starting to kind of realize how much is going on in this game. And just being able to share that appreciation with people, that's part of why I do this. To be able to share in some interesting experiences like Hollow Knight. Boy, this game This game is an experience. Back when the first time I played through this, I was not as good at games. I'm definitely much better at playing games now, all these years later. I say and immediately get punished for my hubris. Took my eyes off of the game for 1 second. 1 second. The game is still gorgeous and fun. Absolutely, yeah, it's very well stylized. I really like it. Playing it again is a worthwhile investment for Silksong. That's why I put so much effort into trying to prepare for this stream. I didn't want it to just be like, oh, I'll just play through Hollow Knight and get an ending, like my original plan was. I actually wanted to go for a specific ending in particular that feels a little bit more fulfilling, I suppose. It feels a little bit more like a satisfying conclusion. Because according to Team Cherry, technically they say that every ending is potentially canon, barring anything that's happening in Silksong. I don't know how that affects everything. I don't know how that affects the canonicity of any of the endings in the game. For sure, at least as of the original releasing of this game and its additional content, there was no specific, this is the canon ending, as determined by the official development team. I did want to go for something that was a little bit more robust, I suppose. Because there is one ending that seems like it might also be potentially equally canon, but it requires basically getting through a particularly challenging piece of content for this game that I don't think is within the scope of our revisitation. So I'm making a calculated decision to not go for a super difficult ending that probably won't happen in a reasonable amount of time. Because I do want to play Silksong. Boy, do I ever want to play Silksong. I feel like it's good for us to have a little bit of context around the events of Hallownest, and in particular, Hornet as a character, before we get too far into the weeds with Silksong. And also to give us an appreciation of how Silksong changes and evolves from Hollow Knight. Be interesting to see the comparisons. I'll say, thankfully, it seems like people have been pretty respectful about not posting tons of spoilers all over social media, at least not as far as I've witnessed. We are not allowed to go there. By decree of the Mantis Lords, we are not to pass through here. This door, right here, this leads to Deep Nest, is the only entrance to Deep Nest. As per their agreement, Mantis Lords will not let anyone through. Deep Nest stays locked away in its own little corner of the world where it can't hurt anyone else. Can't threaten the livelihoods of any of the other tribes. Yeah, I didn't know about this until this week either. Apparently there's just a whole lifeblood container up there. If you need a couple extra hit points for your challenge here, it's a pretty decent thing to have. You really have to go out of your way to get them. Just I never even would have thought that those were there. One of the decrees that the Mantis tribe has always stood by is an honorable and traditional tribe, and a warrior tribe. They allow travelers to challenge them. And if a traveler dies in the challenge, then that was their risk. They knew what they were getting themselves into. But those who successfully survive the challenge, they've earned the respect of the Mantis tribe and are allowed to explore its village and general surrounding area peacefully. So, let's earn that respect with the Mantis Lords. One of the best boss fights, I think, in the entire game. Absolutely one of my favorites. It is a very fair boss fight. One where it looks absolutely wild, but once you know how it works, it's very fun. So we're fighting one Mantis Lord right now. And the other two are just kind of sitting there and watching as this happens. It's the first one down. Now it's time for the two. Now there's two of them. And look at these patterns. Like, is this not just the sickest thing? Look at that. It's so cool. It is really, really cool the way that they've orchestrated this boss fight. If there is any boss fight in this game that feels like a dance, that's usually a descriptor I hear when people discuss this boss fight in particular. It really is a dance. Once you learn the steps, it's a really fun dance. Yep. Ooh, I was not jumping fast enough for that one. Just stay in that rhythm, and you'll get there in no time. You've earned the respect. One thing that's also interesting to note before we go into Deepnest, now that we've defeated the Mantis Lords and the respect of the Mantis tribe, they bow. No longer hostile towards them. Very, very cool. And explore the rest of the village here. You come into this room before you earned the respect of the Mantis tribe. When you walk up, this Mantis will hit the lever, close the door right here. You will not be able to enter. There's this area. Some goodies. Get a Hallownest seal, which we can sell from. Oops, not wall jump. Butterfingers. We get the Mark of Pride, which is a super, super nice charm to have. A bench that we can sit on. Cozy. And if I go this way, this room here, a buttload of Geo. Get more than double the money that we had right now. Pretty good payout. This way. Assuming I got the platform correctly. Yeah, now we're all good. Don't gotta worry about the mantises anymore. At least we get tired if I just had to stand there watching my comments fight a random vessel. Yeah, I assume they have pretty lightweight bodies. But yeah, I mean, it depends on how long the fight goes, too. They probably get tired standing there watching someone do a no-nail upgrades fight. Because I haven't upgraded my nail, but at least I still have the fragile strength arm. So I do have some form of attacking. Hey, Cornifer, how's it going? This place gives me the creeps. Vicious little creatures burst out all over the place, and the passages are a dark, twisting maze. Unless you're well prepared, I urge you to leave. So if you're feeling strong enough to descend, would you like to buy my mat? Yes, please. That is super, super cheap. Thank you. Yeah, Cornifer ain't humming down here. It's a pretty oppressive atmosphere. No fun little background music or anything. Just ambient noise. Now the question is if I can remember how to navigate the place. The key is I just gotta remember to take my time down here. Down here for one thing in particular, kind of what I'm corner. Here. That's probably good in case I fall down there by accident. Now that we're in Deep Nest, I can actually discuss a little bit more about the spider and weaver tribes. The spider tribe is pretty much who has taken up residence here now. But there used to be weavers. They were very, very well versed in the art of silk spinning. They used silk to record their history on spools. They used it for creating physical objects. They would make equipment out of it. And I think they even used it to create some spells. Also worth noting that Hornet uses silk as part of her attacks. Could there be a connection there? Perhaps may have. Me? Not down there. This area is really, really scary to navigate without a light source. Too bad that Luma flat lantern is so darn expensive, huh? Guess that's the way to go. Maybe down here. I don't think I've ever beaten Hollow Knight in a playthrough. Beaten it while doing randomizers. At this point. I think I've only ever experienced the super basic ending of the game. Ooh, sketchy. I think I've only ever experienced the basic ending of the game. So I haven't done any of the more in-depth endings that require more specific steps to be taken to achieve them. I don't remember where I can go. Go anywhere. Navigating Deep Nest is a bit of a maze. And that is on purpose. It is a confusing area, somewhat by design. Here we go. This is the way. We got a nice little hot springs here. There's some bench right here. Thank you very much. And then I believe we go this way. These guys may look like normal enemies from before. Now they've taken on a horrible new second form in this dangerous place. So as far as enemies you can actually see in the game, these little weavers are the only actual weavers that we can see in the game at this point. Because all of the original weavers left back to their home. Their homeland of Harlown. Which is a great name. Great name for a place. So I can trying to think at this point. Yeah, I think that leads to the distant village where the weavers used to live. You can see how oppressively dark it is, and that is a room that, unless you know exactly what you're doing or have the Lumafly lantern, you probably don't want to try to navigate that. Certainly find yourself having a very challenging endeavor if you do. I hear a grub. I don't think I can reach that grub. I remember last time I went through here, I was like, oh, can I reach that grub? Zode, I I swear. Come on, dude. I don't want to do this right now. Oh, fine. I'll go find him. Where you at, buddy? Look at that mighty Zote. See you down there. You must have to go around this way or something. I'll try and find him. Hello? Oh, that's the little destructibles above. We go around a different way then. Sorry, bud. I don't see the way in right now. You're just gonna have to stay there. I'm getting out of there. Don't follow the bench to its absolute conclusion. Do come up this way, though. If I remember correctly. I'm trying to channel my memory. These guys are absolute nightmare to fight. So I'm not going to. I'm just going to evade. Uh-oh. Evade that. Let's... Here? Heal up. And get some lifeblood. Oh, it's like a waiting for me. I don't like that. Stop. Cease your buffoonery. Go over this way, I think. Yes. Keep on going. Good candidate for spells. Spells are very strong and can also hit distant enemies that we can't usually hit outside of our nails range. And they spawn what essentially end up being more ways for us to charge up soul. It makes the process a lot smoother. Get over here. These guys, I kind of do want to fight to get them out of the way. There's a bunch of them, and I don't want them swarmed here. One, a little bit more soul for the road. One more. And then I don't know why I'm charging up soul. I'm gonna use a BenchWarp here. Because now we have the tram path. With that, we can go back to that other bench we sat at by the hot spring. Because without the Luma Fly Lantern, I am not going to attempt to navigate the distant village in Deepness. But hey, who's this fellow here who has taken up a little moment in the hot spring? Hello, hello. What a thrill this is to find such warm comfort amidst the den of beasts. This is a ferocious place, no doubt. Supposedly, there's a village deep in the war. Its inhabitants never accepted Hallownest's king. Thanks, Squirrel. Very cool lore bit. It is true, the Deep Nest did not collaborate with the Kingdom of Hallownest in any way because they wanted to take over everything for themselves. They were not interested in a partnership. Also, apologies if you are unable to hear me properly during this particular room. It is a loud room. This is the loud room. We're just passing through so that we can take the tram. Pretty cozy little spot here. Let's head to the other end of it. Now that tram station that we got the tram pass from over in Deepnest, I don't know why, but even though Deepnest did not want to cooperate with the kingdom, they still tried to, the Pale King still tried to have a tram station built in Deepnest. And yeah, you can see how that went. Not very well. As a tram station that will never be completed. Trying to remember. Oh, I remember why we're here. I do remember why we're here. Let me deal with these guys. I am heavily leaning on the... I'm leaning heavily on the speed route that I was following to get the under 5 hours playthrough. And we do have something very useful over here we can grab. And it's not too far out of the way. Oops. Threw myself right into that one. Gotta watch out for these globules that's hopping up. They stick around on the ground for a while. And it does still hurt. Oh, look who it is. Another good reason to come over here. It's Cloth. My friend, you dealt with all those beasts? I'm ashamed to say, I was hiding. Those ghastly things chased me and I ran. If you hadn't come along, who knows if I'd ever have survived. Others take me for a fearsome warrior, what with my impressive size. This kingdom's beasts, I wonder if I'm just no match for them.
Bakusa!
Enough. I cannot wallow in my weakness. I must take strength from your example. You act so confident in battle. You show no fear before your foes. I'll try my best to do the same. Now, there's a reason we don't show fear in combat. Get to that a little bit later. More and more Silksong achievements are becoming common right before my eyes. Yeah, that's gonna happen. It is kind of interesting that the beat the game in under 5 hours achievement is still a 5% achievement for this game. Like, I guess not many people are interested in the speed running aspect, and to be fair, I usually am not either. We were here for that pale ore. We can get ourselves a couple of nail upgrades when we go into the city later. Watch out for that. Get over here. Get over here. There we go. That's some good soul. For the exploding exploders. Very reminiscent of those diving bats from the original Metroid game. Very cool. We will be coming back to the ancient basin later. But for now, that was our main piece of business, aside from, I think it's up here? We got some nail wielders. This way? I think this is the right way. These guys. You missed me. You're missed. Hee. I bounced off your head. Pogoing is so funny. It just feels super insulting to enemies like that. Where they just like are trying to attack and you just bounce off their head. That must feel infuriating. Definitely going to at least attempt speedrunning Silksong at some point compared to Hollow Knight, where I never even beat it normally. Yeah, to be fair, I went and found a video that someone made that had their personal route of going through. Well, I need to focus. I'm having trouble with this. It's just a jump. I don't have to pogo or anything weird. Yeah, I did find a route that someone else had made that's pretty casually accessible, and there's only a couple of skips that it does, and they're pretty simple skips, which is nice. I mean, I was able to, after watching the video and kind of following along with it, I got under 3 hours on my first try of it. So there's certainly some merit to the route. But it also, they did a very good job of laying out where you need to go. They actually drew a route through the map at different steps of the process and all that. It was very, very nice. Here we are officially in the City of Tears. The original name of this city has been lost to time. But because of the water that rains like tears from above, considering the tragedy that Hallownest fell to, this infection, that was a bad idea. This place came to be known as the City of Tears. I want to check something. Okay. We'll be coming back here later, I think. Yeah, later. I wanted to just grab that grub for now, but we will be coming back here. Worry about getting those guys. Plus getting smacked in the head with a rust. Yeah. Getting attacked by the sharp end of a nail. Probably not super great for their health. 300 geo for this stag station, but it's a worthwhile one to have. See if I can do this. Nice. That Hallownest seal, it's a little bit extra money for us. And we get to have a nice little powwow with the last stag. You've opened several stag stations now, haven't you? I'm thankful for the opportunity to once more travel through the kingdom. To visit more places, feel my memories returning to me. Stagways of my mind once more. Continue to open the station. You'll have my deepest gratitude. Well, since we're here, actually, yeah, we can grab some stuff now. Don't really need to grab anything yet. We're about to get a whole bunch of money here, so I think I'll wait on that. We will be going back up to Dirt Mountain a little bit, grab some goods. First, we need to do a little bit more work here. Excuse me. Pardon me. Coming through. I'm not going to go into any of these rooms yet. We have some other business we want to attend to first. You know, I've been running around a bunch. We're really just going point to point on a lot of these things. Like, let's just sit on this ledge for a minute and appreciate the layers of visual depth to this scenery and this music. The vibes are immaculate. So good. Let's see, I would like to pass through here. Excuse me. I'd like to open this up. Because we can go check out this memorial statue. And meet our favorite Hornet once again. Again, we meet, little ghost. I'm normally quite perceptive. You I underestimated, though I've since guessed the truth. You've seen beyond this kingdom's bounds. Yours is resilience born of two voids. It's no surprise, then, you've managed to reach the heart of this world. In so doing, you shall know the sacrifice that keeps it standing. If, knowing that truth, you'd still attempt a role in Hallownest's perpetuation, seek the grave and act, and the market would grant to one like you. Thanks, Hornet. You're so cool, Hornet. That's fun. Hornet's cool. We like Hornet. I think I may be losing the plot here a little bit. This takes a simple key. That goes to the Royal Waterways. I do want to go down there, but we don't need to go down there. Memorial to the Hollow Knight. In the black vault far above, through its sacrifice, Hallownest lasts eternal. A simple attitude. You can see it right over there, that funny little, that black mark there. Haven't gone there yet. We will eventually. Excuse me. Pardon me. Through. suppose technically we could, if I had the mark of pride, to bounce off of those and get up there early. But we don't need to. I suppose maybe it is further. There is something I want to get to over in this general direction. Well, a couple of them. Way over. I think I just maybe didn't go far enough. Let's head up. I think it is still further this way. Let's see, up here. And have a little bit more money. Can't go in here yet. Blocked from the other side. I don't really feel like your movement is so smooth. Yeah, that's also part of why I wanted to do Hollow Knight first as a revisit, because just judging by the trailer alone, it definitely looked like movement was going to be way, way ramped up. And that would make coming back to something like Hollow Knight a little bit more challenging. At least from a having to readjust standpoint. Let's see, I want to go this way. I'm gonna take this outer route a bit. Excuse me. Before we go in there, I need to go up that way. We can grab an extra Hallownest seal. Hollow Knight will probably feel clunky after Silksong. I wouldn't know because I've only been grinding Silksong. That's fair. Yeah, I'm really curious to see how Silksong handles. Seems like it would be a lot of fun. Thankfully I don't know that yet, because people have been pretty good about not spoiling it or anything like that. No. Not further. Keep going. Then... Oh. Trying to remember where I need to go here. Where is this? Suppose we can have a rancid egg. Just in case. Money, why not? Yeah, I think it'll be pretty cool getting into Silksong. I did want to give a little bit more proper context for Hornet and all that. I'm like so sloppy right now. This mana's destroying me. Hold on. And subscribe from a few creators just in case they would end up posting spoilers of their playthroughs. I should have done that with Underlab when Deltarune came out. Because that is insane to me that they just, the moment the game comes out, they start posting each of the boss fights, just straight up, no spoiler warning. Like, like, hello? This is totally the right way. Where am I going? This can't possibly be the right way. Where am I going? This isn't the way to the shop. You know what? At this point, let's just see where it goes. I have no idea. Yeah, I definitely should have done that with... I should have done that with Underlab. Because they did just start posting, like, here's all the boss fights of Chapter 3. One video at a time, and they just put the names of the bosses in the title of the video. But it's like, dude, really? I know you've been gone for a while working on your game and all that, but still, like, just coming back and immediately posting spoiler after spoiler with nary a warning seems like really poor form to me. I could never imagine doing something like that. Whoa, combat room. Wowee. I am definitely, I am not where I need to be. Not even a little bit. You know what? This seems like a pretty good detour. First of all, unlock a bench. Just handy. We also get to see Cornifer again. He's always a friendly face. Isn't this a change from those twisting natural caverns? Rain does cast something of a sadness upon it all. The architecture is simply splendid. Charting such a different space is quite the challenge, though one I've eagerly undertaken. Perhaps you'd care to purchase a copy of my achievements so far. Sure. Affordable, huh? Good stuff. This goes back to the jungle wastes, huh? Yeah, I'm way off track, but I'm just kind of vibing now. I'm unlocking stuff, I guess. You know what my problem was? I think I assumed that the nailsmith sign was only for the nailsmith, and I didn't want to go to the nailsmith yet. I wanted to go there later. And now we're on the wrong side of the city gate. I wonder if we can... Huh? We need Desolate Dive to get through this way. Okay. Well, there is a simple solution to this problem. We run it back. I see anything related to the game on my feed, I tell YouTube to not recommend it. Yeah, that's fair. That's probably a good way to do it. I think this time I will just go with the nailsmith sign because I wanted to go to a different person first, but I think I just need to go that way anyway. And while we're here, I guess I could go in here and do this now. This would have been a little bit faster to do if I waited until after the nailsmith. But, like, there's this whole secret area I didn't know about with this shiny boy back here. They take 5 bajillion hits. They drop a bajillion money, so it all pans out. Exactly 420 geo. Tidy little sum of money. Okay, this time I'm gonna follow the sign to the nailsmith, and we're just gonna go that way. Even if it is just the nailsmith, at least I'll be getting my nail upgrade. Well, upgrades plural. It's me. Pardon me. Coming through. Let's go over here. Let's go to the nailsmith. Get this taken care of first. Since we stopped in the ancient basin long enough to pick up that one piece of pale ore, we can actually do 2 upgrades while we're here.
Vendasu.
Have you brought me another nail to be honed? On the ground and return later, if you're still thinking.
Ranjo Stenja.
Oh, thought you were someone else. After a nailsmith, are you? Well, you've found one. Not much for talk. If it's a nail that needs repair, then you've come to the right bug. Your own nail is in quite a sorry state. It's obviously not one of them. Still, anything can be refined with enough effort and skill, even that broken blade. If you'd like, you can reforge your nail. Blade far more deadly. I will take that deal. We were at 2023, 2 geo away from current year. As you wish, I'll get to work then. Super sick cutscene. Really like it.
Garadel Akari.
Memory serves, there's 2 sources of 420 geo in the game, which is a very specific value to occur twice. I had a nickel. For every time I gained exactly 420 geo in Hollow Knight, I'd have 2 nickels. Here we go. Forging is complete. I've honed your nail's edge. Much stronger than it used to be. Head out there, test its strength against your foe. Not quite yet.
Vendasu.
Still here. Is there something else you want? I see you have some pale ore. A rare, fine metal. Give me the ore and some geo parts, and I'll reforge your nail to make it stronger. 800. It's a pretty steep price, but it's well worth the extra power.
Jonsha.
As you wish. We'll get to work then. Getting to see that cutscene again is, in its own right, worth the 800 geo. Go. The reforging is complete. Add a channel to your nail. It should cut much more efficiently. And it's stronger than it used to be. Get out there, test its blade against your foe. That takes care of our business here for now. But now, instead of doing 5 base damage, raised up to 8 with our fragile attack charm, we now have... I don't know what we're at. Hold on. One thing I can do real quick. Probably I should go in here real quick and... I can actually probably... Yeah, let's see. We need the channeled nail, so we do that. We can actually reset the nail settings to defaults. So it should be good to go then. My soft lock. Have I been bamboozled? I think the game may have frozen. Give me a moment. We're gonna run this back. We're gonna run this back real quick. Oh, silly game. Sometimes mods do present a little bit of a problem, but it's fine. Everything will be okay. We'll just see where it drops me off. It should save after the nailsmith. We'll be back at the bench, which is what I was planning to do anyway. I just want to make sure that my nail is doing the correct damage. Yes, okay, we're back to normal now. Perfect. All good. Just resetting the defaults on that mod made it hiccup a little. But we're fine. And now we can do much more damage. Look at that. These guys are one-shots now. Used to take multiple hits to take those guys out. We're in a pretty good spot, power level-wise. These guys are a bit of a pain to fight. Mainly because sometimes when I pogo off their shield, they decide to instead do horizontal strikes. Makes it hard to properly capitalize on their movement. Might just be a me problem, though. And with our power upgrades, much easier to get this grub saved. I think that should bring us up to... Is that 6? I think as long as we have at least 5, we're in a pretty good spot. Now, I did want to find one more spot. I don't remember how to get to the... Excuse me. I can't remember how to get to the shop where you sell your stuff. That's one I do not remember exactly. I might consult the map for that one. No, it's up one of the elevators, but I can't remember which one. I don't think it's this one, because this is just the other side of this room. Could try this again. Ooh, close. Yeah, if I had the Mark of Pride equipped, I could probably get up there a little bit more easily. I know it's up one of the elevators. That much I know for sure. It's by the waterways. It sounds right. I think this was blocked off from this side, right? So there's like an... Oh, right. I remember what it is now. I remember. There's that rooftop route. I think I may have taken a wrong turn there. I think that's where I messed up. Excuse me? Yeah, these guys are 2 shots now instead of 4. That's pretty different. Big change. Makes these guys a lot less of a hindrance. Have a little bit of extra money along those. Might as well. Literally on the way, so... Yeah. Yeah, it's in here somewhere. I just went the wrong way. I went down here. This is where I need to go. I just totally did not even... I just totally spaced it out. I must have been talking about something else.
Morrison?
We're here. Hello, Lem. Aye, aye. Searching for rare items, have you? Well, hands off. This collection is mine, and I won't be selling to grubby little wanderers. Still, I imagine you come across many interesting items in your travel. Do you care to part with some? We'll offer a fair trade for each.
Velmi Ardred.
Tell me art. You're gonna be hearing that a lot. Yeah, the Wanderer's Journal.
Kachael Liasoki.
Wanderer's Journal, eh? Though they're common finds about the kingdom, I much enjoy the deciphering of their text. Read together, they paint a morbid tale. Seems fate was unkind to most who travel within Hallownest's ruin.
Velmi Ardred.
Ain't that the truth? Hallownest seal. We have 3 of these to sell.
Velmi
So
Ardred.
this, here's the other thing too. This isn't just, oh, sell a collectible thing to get some extra money. This also gives you more lore. Lore is everywhere in this game. Really fun. And I just totally missed pretty much all of the deeper pieces of lore implications during my first playthrough. I just was not paying attention. I do a much better job of appreciating stuff like that now. Hallownest seal, eh? Very interesting, this. You know of the kingdom's 5 great knights? I do, actually. They're revered figures of Hallownest, often mentioned in the annals of the kingdom, only as a group. Their names and appearance seem to have been expunged from history. So long has passed since their time. It'd be a grand achievement to discover their identities.
Velmi Ardred.
So not only do we get lore, but we also get lore exploration encouragement. They're like, wouldn't it be cool if we could figure out who these people were? And people have. We saw the armor of one of them during the
Kachael
false knight fight.
Liasoki.
Another Hallownest seal. Pass it over. I enjoy collecting their like, but there's little information to be gleaned of each. Mind you, they do keep a nice shine about them, and there's nothing wrong with appreciating something purely on aesthetic merits.
Velmi Ardred.
Boy, they knew what they were doing with this game. They're really speaking to all types of players in this game. Like, hey, you want to be a lore hound? We encourage that. Who just like the game because of how pretty it looks? Sure, you can like it for that reason too. It's so meta, but it doesn't feel meta, which is nice. It feels like a realistic piece of spoken dialogue, which is really a really cool way of going about it. I've been trying to slow down and interact with the environment and read dialogue whenever I can in Silksong. Oh, once I get into playing Silksong, you know I am taking my sweet time with that game. I won't mind dodging spoilers as much once I'm actually playing the game and slowly making myself steadily more and more immune to spoilers. But it's kind of tough right now, being in Hollow Knight and knowing that Silksong is out there. We'll make it work. We're making it happen. As long as I don't get lost
Velmi
too
Ardred.
frequently. Hallownest seal, eh? Give it here. Do you have anything else for me? Not, get your damp little self out of my home.
Helma Dilka.
Looks like you don't have any relics on you. If you manage to find any in good condition, bring them to me and I'll give you a fair amount of geo for them. Alright, bye. See you later. Now that we are here in the city of Tears, I'm trying to remember where we go from this point. Where does the... I think... Isn't there a way to get to Crystal Peak from here? I think that's where we're going. I think Crystal Peak is the way. I have no no idea how far I am in the game, but I have 12 hours so far and I haven't beaten it yet, so take that as you will. Yeah, I mean, if Hollow Knight is anything to go off of, you could easily spend many, many, many hours and still not have even beaten the final boss, let alone if that game has multiple endings, which I certainly wouldn't put it past their potential capabilities to do that. They could do multiple endings again. That in itself would be a whole extra bunch of stuff. While we're here, let's grab the mask shard. And we'll need to come back and grab another. Grab this one too. Grab 2 mask shards here. And then we get the Lumafly lantern. Thank you very much. And that's all we want from here. Maybe we'll play 6 hours of it every day so far. I'll have even more time to grind. Now, my grind is Hollow Knight this weekend. This is what I've been preparing for. Let's see. I want to go stop by the grub father real quick. We've rescued a good handful of grubs at this point. And we have something over here I want to pick up. Aside from the showers of Geo. Because for rescuing 5 grubs, you get a mask shard. Now I'm trying to remember where the 4th one is. I don't recall where the speed route that I followed before picked up the 4th mask shard from. Oh, actually, you know what? I think I do now that I'm recalling. Since we're in the neighborhood, I can go grab it. Might as well just have an extra hit point, right? Or hurts to have a little bit more extra HP. I believe we go down this way. Just past the area. You hear that little mystical twinkly sound. We avoid... Oh, no. We missed time avoiding these guys. Because I'm silly. A little silly with it. And drop down. And there's our 4th mask shard. Yeah, I don't... We're probably not going to tackle Brooding Malek today. Well, certainly not today, but I don't know. Even in this playthrough of going for the specific ending, I don't know that we'll be seeing it. Now, what it is? Oh, I get Crystal Peak. Remember exactly how that happens from the city. Let me bench warp real quick. Oh, Aragale, thank you for the hype. I will do that while we load back into Dirtmouth. In here, and I'll take a little sip. I'm actually gonna take off one of my layers here too. It was cold this morning. We've been having the windows cracked open, get some cooler air inside. Now that the overnight temperature is getting a decent bit lower. Now that it's the daytime, I'm a little warm again. So I'm just going to put that off. There. Just leave it. All right. But hello, welcome in, Arigail. How are you doing today? We just Hollow Knighting it up. I think while we take this Stagway station back to King Station, I'm going to take a brief look at the map. Try to remind myself of go here. Those I suppose we could go the vanilla way after, which would be closer from Dirk Knock, wasn't it? Can't remember the way that the speed route took me. I think we'll go try and find our own way. A little bit off script. I can't remember my lines, so to speak. Stick around, just wanted to pop in and say stay hydrated and have a good stream. Appreciate it. Thank you for coming in. Appreciate you popping in. Hydration is always important. Yeah, hope you have a good day as well. Here, might as well just stop in and say hello to a temple. Place. Not a whole lot see or do here right now specifically, but it will be important later. Not me trying to adapt multiple times midair. An absolute fool. Let's see. Don't have my wayward compass on me anymore. I think this is where we save the cup. This is the oh, bury the night with her broken nail. Bury the priest. Something about a crown. I can't remember the rest of that one. Maybe I'll just hum it. What are you hiding down here? Match with soul charge. Sure. Get that almost completely fills up. Now, we need Desolate Dive to go in this way. Completely forgore. There is a way to get Crystal Peak with. Oh, I think I remember. That makes sense. That's why we went and got the tram pass. Right. Oh, we got the tram pass early. Not just to go to Ancient Basin. Also gives us a way of going through. The well, get rid of you and get rid of these ones. most of them. Squeeze past this guy. And just keep on going down. I always forget that they... I'll need to stop being so gross. Gross little bugs. Gross little bug things. This could take us to the area, I think. And this way, we don't have to go to the Soul Sanctuary. It won't be necessary to do that. I could totally stop in here. Wait a minute. Hold on. No, this is where we come to after we get the... After we go to Crystal Peak. Oh, order's a little bit screwy. I might just go back to the city and try and find my way back to Soul Sanctuary so we can actually do normal progression, because I can't remember the speed route apparently. I don't want to pull up the video while we're doing stuff live. But we get a little piece of important lore here. Protect the vessel. The dreamers lay sleeping. Hanuman the teacher, in her archive, surrounded by fog and mist. Lurian the watcher, in his spire, looking over the city. Hera the beast, in her den, amidst the darkness beyond the kingdom. Through their devotion, Hallownest lasts eternal. Dreamer locations added to map. Get back into Silksong now. I'll probably overlay your stream while I grind. Alright, sounds good. Hope you have more fun. Sounds like it's going pretty well so far. Someday I'll be able to join you in Silksong. The land of Silksong. Go no further, little shadow. What compels its climb out of the darkness? What compels its return to this sacred kingdom? A call from beyond the seals? By the vessel? Or by that captive light? Would the seals break? They cannot be undone. But the vessel weakens. That plague springs anew. They must be undone. Yet still our seals remain. Where duty holds, must be cast away. Where duty holds, it shall be done. There they are again. Scream at me from the void once more. Well, not from the void, it is actually. Fade away, little shadow. Fade away. Let us sleep in peace. So now we are in the dream realm. In a dream. Would you look at that? Someone has kindly offered us a path. Without them, we very well could be stranded in this place forever. We'll follow them and see where the trail goes. I do love these very Dreamcatcher-esque symbols and iconography. I do love how that ties into the dream realm. What a terrible fate they've visited upon you, to cast you away into this space between body and soul. Will you accept their judgment and fade slowly away? Or will you take the weapon before you cut your way out of the sad, forgotten dream. Taken the dream nail. Cut through the veil between dreams and waking. I love their noises. Ah, meow. Ah, you've returned. Welcome back to the waking world. Those figures, those dreamers, they reached out with what little power they still have and dragged you into that hidden place. But that talisman you now wield, the dream nail, it can cut through the veil that separates the waking world from our dream. Even the dreamers themselves can hide from such a weapon. Though I must admit, that sacred blade has dulled over time. Together, perhaps, we can restore its power. You only have to bring me essence. Essence. Precious fragments of light that dreams are made of. Quite literally, in fact. Collect it wherever you find it, and bring it to me. Once we have enough, we can work wonders together. Go out into the world, wielder. Hunt down the essence that lingers there. Collect 100 essence and return to me. I will teach you more. So this is the Seer. They are the sole remaining member of the Moth tribe. A tribe that was born from a higher being known as the Radiance. Now the Moth tribe, they had the ability to enter and harness the dream realms. So they could actually enter these dream realms, and the dream realms themselves are made of essence, which is what we're collecting. Dream realms are created by the thoughts and wishes of the various bugs that live here. So theoretically, there could be any number of dream realms that exist. Now, if we had Desolate Dive, we could go down here. But nothing else for us here right now. Something else that the Moth tribe is also capable of doing, thanks to the power of the Dream Nail, is that they can read the thoughts of most bugs. There are some bugs that their mind is too well fortified or strong to be able to read their thoughts. But another thing we can do... Stop there. Those who try to leave this kingdom are cursed. Better to rest here, till time itself sleeps. Hope and freedom. I thought that strength alone could grant me these things. In my dreams, I would cut that plague with my nails. And then I turned my weapons upon the king. When I awoke in this sacred place, I began to understand. Those who hope are already doomed. Do you still hope, wanderer? Will you flee? Or will you raise your weapon and doom us both? So we did come across one of these earlier, before we had the dream nail. There was that memorial in memory of the elder. So across the world, there are these memorial sites to different warriors that perished here at some point. But their dream still lingers on. We can challenge them to combat. And defeating them does net us a pretty tidy sum of essence, which we are going to need for the ending that I'm attempting to go for. So I think it's been a while since we've had a boss fight. So let's give this guy a try. I'm trying to remember if I've ever fought this boss before. I don't know that I have. I'm very happy that I have some attack strength upgrades with me. Ow. Uh-oh. Ooh, I jumped right back into it. It's important to try and keep this guy on screen so I can see him. That's a fun little dance. Thankfully, this form of him isn't too ridiculously challenging. It's a good introduction to the dream fights. I can see now. Those who turn against the king are doomed as soon as they raise their weapon. Do not call me a traitor. Simply call me a fool. I know you will not flee. Wherever you go, I will be watching. And that's another 100 essence. We can go back to the seer right now if we want to. And see what they have to say. So that was Zero, spelled Xero. And to my understanding, each of those dream fights, those were designed by some of the Kickstarter backers, I think. I have not read up on the dream fights themselves. I honestly haven't engaged with too many of them in my normal playthrough, which is probably part of why I got the basic ending. Dead remembered. Penitent moth. Dreams revered. I am back. I got the essence. Ah, wielder. You've returned. Let me have a look at the dream nail. Already you've collected 100 essence. Quick work. Things come naturally to you, don't they? No wonder the dreamers tried to bury you in that old dream. Perhaps you frightened them. Or perhaps, being prisoners themselves, they desired your company. In any case, you still have a long way to go. Take this old trinket as encouragement from me, and return when you have collected 200 essence. Well, thanks. I guess they'll be potentially useful. Open the door. we can get the... Oh. I guess Cornifer was here. Let's rest at this bench. And call the stag. That pass you hold, is it not for that ghastly machine, the tram? I hope you're not thinking of riding on that grotesque contraption. Hate to break it to you, but I already have. Thought a mere machine could attempt what we stags do. Fool. Very foolish. King's Station. Let's try and find the Soul Sanctuary. What I could also do is consult the map for a moment and remind myself of where the entrance even is. Go from there. Wait a minute. Wait a hackin' second. Hold on. I see something interesting on this map. Going back to dirt map. No, not the Forgotten Crossroads. No! I think this might actually be closer. Oh. Hello there. Hello, Tiso. Little thing. You use these old lines? A real warrior carries himself to combat. He has no need for such convenience. I mean, you do you, buddy. I'm gonna be comfortable. I'm gonna live with some degree of comfort in these trying times. I think I need to go over here. It's over this way that we need to go. Let's see if I can go this way. Hold on. Further up. I remember the first time I played through, I got so used to just having the wayward compass always equipped. I'm trying to learn how to do without. Well, it's dark in here, that's for sure. Oh, this is what we needed the Lumafly lantern for as well. This is how the speed route gets into Crystal Peak. Okay. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we are officially back on track. Now, we climb. Not in this room specifically, but just in general. Now, Crystal Peak is pretty interesting. These crystals, which the peak is named after, these served as the power source. They served at least as a power source for Hallownest. We'll see as we climb along here. These crystals are charged up with some pretty strong energy. And some of the bugs around here have even begun merging with the crystals. I've had the crystals merge with them, whichever way around it is. Good rub. These guys. Ooh, dark room. this is where we need to go. This looks familiar. Familiar and correct. Well, I slipped. This looks right. No. Right. This is how we get to the resting grounds after we're done here. A little premature. So yeah, once we're done in Crystal Peak, that's where the speed route goes, down here. And that's just a quick way of getting directly to the resting grounds. This is not where we need to be for our purposes. Because once we're done here, this grub right here, this is actually our return point. That's where we'll be coming out once we're done. Now, the only goal is up. We just need to scale the peak. Yeah. Now the nice thing about how they've set up the controls to work, if you're holding onto a wall, all you have to do to dash away from the wall is just press the dash button. You don't have to jump off the wall first, you don't necessarily have to hold the opposite direction. Just press the dash button and hold the dash in the opposite direction, away from the wall. Really nice. Works quite well. Now you get a bit more of a demonstration of the power of these crystals. I don't think we need to go through the macro room. I don't even know what's in there. It's probably for the best. Don't go in there. Just a hunch. Hey, Cornifer, how's it going, buddy? Come to scale the mountain. Heard tale of a summit way up there. Too far from me, though, and I'm not really one for heights. Take the map, thank you. Can't do anything over here. And can't get up there. Just a little out of range. So we'll keep climbing up. Now there is a bench over here. But it's occupied. And I do not want to tussle with its occupants. So we're gonna leave that alone. Shopkeeper's key. I don't remember what that's for. I mean, I can infer its purpose, but I don't know the specifics of that purpose. I think it plays in game for here. We're back with Coral once again. Ah, quite the view, no? Not surprised you survived the trek through these shimmering caverns. There's an air of strength about you. I suspect it would be quite intimidating, if not for your small stature. I mean, fair. He's telling it like it is. Gotta respect him for that. And we can grab a little bit of something here. This. I just barely didn't take damage from that. That's crazy. keep going down. And over here. I think that's our way out. Over there. We want to head down this way. Might as well pop that open. Check out this crazy suspended construct they've got here in the background. That is sick. That's super cool. Now it's time for a platforming room. We've got these platforms that will flip over to a dangerous spike side after a short time of standing on them. Gotta dodge all of these lasers. These crystals shoot off their energy. Love the way the music elevates for that section too. Really cool. And then we head down across the bridge to another construct. This one has something for us. And it's happy to see us. We now have the crystal heart. So now we can, more or less, to explain it in a Metroidvania term, or I guess a Metroid specific term, Shine Spark. We charge it up, and we go flying. Charge it up, and go. Very, very useful. It is infinite horizontal mobility. Until you hit either until you either hit an object or cancel it yourself. Don't remember if you can just I think you can go through enemies and it does damage. But if the enemy doesn't die, then I think you get hit out of it. Don't remember 100% for sure though. Now we can head back down. Start finding our way out of here. And maybe find a little bit of extra cash along the way. Never hurts to have a little bit. These guys being like Hammer Brothers, for some reason that pickaxe toss that they do really pisses me off. Don't know why. I guess it's something about the speed at which it happens. Speaking of speed, these crushers are going way faster than what is reasonable. I think we have a dash. Good thing I have a dash, so I can get myself into trouble even faster. I can put myself in mortal peril with unparalleled speed. Let's shut off the crushers though. Does that shut off the crushers for the whole of Crystal Peak? If it does, that's pretty handy. It also makes sense that they would have it at the end of the area, basically. Yeah, very handy. Let's see. With this, we might as well go resting grounds, huh? With this, we can now go back through here. Hopefully the enemies are still eliminated from this area. Went through here the first time. This guy's just pretty basic, so he doesn't get removed. Over here, what's over here? Oh, there's another snail shaman. Requires a desolate dive. Okay, okay. I see what you're playing at. Nope, down we go. Back to the resting grounds. We don't have to rely on just doing the basic dash to get through areas faster now. If we have a nice long flat straightaway, use the crystal dash to go for it. Nice and quick. Let's take a quick hop back to dirt. Yeah, Crystal Peak's adaptive music is really, really nice. That is something I noticed when I was replaying through to kind of get myself back into practice for this. That was a really cool moment. I really love adaptive,
Papa nada.
good adaptive soundtracks in general. Just wonderful. Super cool, super awesome. Love it every time. Love dynamic soundtrack. Also want to start buying these markers so that we can keep track of stuff on our own terms. And that does bring up another one of the convenience mods that I have installed right now. Normally, when you buy these markers, you can place up to 6 of each marker. But I have a mod that lets us place an infinite number of them. I figured that would be a useful thing for us to have so that we can keep track of things we've yet to go for. We'll probably mainly be using that during the post-ending exploration that I plan to do alongside our big Silksong streams. We probably won't be using that very much, if at all, here. I did want to bring that up since we're now getting the markers, just in case we do end up using them at any point before we reach the ending. Where I need to get back. Ram. Now here is a place where I am going to make use of one of the mods here. Closer to something like Tears of the Kingdom's pin system, although that one had a lot to do. Yeah, basically it's just having 6 markers is kind of restrictive for what our purposes are. I'm not worried about doing things 100% vanilla. We're mostly here for the lore and the vibes, not necessarily the challenge aspect of it. I wanna play Silksong. For sure I wanna play Silksong. So let's see. I think we can get one more boss before I have to stop for today. We made a pretty decent bit of progress here. And we will be doing a lot more in the next stream we do of this, for sure. Let's see, I wanted to go to... Is it in Deepness? One thing that is nice, I have this BenchWarp mod. There's a mod called BenchWarp that lets you, surprise, surprise, warp to benches. But there's also there's a BenchWarp spoiler cloak mod, basically makes it so that if you haven't been to a bench before, you haven't unlocked the bench, so to speak. In some cases, literally unlocking them. If you haven't been to them, you don't see them and they're not an option. So I won't accidentally skip out of sequence to a bench that I haven't already been to. We want to go to the hot spring. This is the place we want to be. We want to go hit up the tram. Well, I guess... Is there a... There is one for the lower tram. Where does lower tram go? That might be more appropriate to where we are actually at. Let's check it. This is where we need to be. Okay, up we go. And the only reason I'm using something like that for normal gameplay, like if I was playing on my own, or if we're doing stuff like Silksong, obviously I'm not going to be using mods like that to trivialize the game's navigation, platforming, and all that sort of stuff. The main reason that I'm using stuff like this is just to help eliminate some of the less relevant traversal for our particular purposes. Reason why I'm back. Okay, so here, there is a skip you can do here where you pogo across these spikes and then die at the very other side, and you can use your shade in a kind of weird way to pogo up to the ledge that's on the other side of this chasm. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do the intended method of using the crystal heart. Dash over. Because I'm not insane. I just barely was too late on that cancel. Yikes. The reason why I'm back is because I'm taking a small break. The game just opened up insanely. I'm starting to think I've only been to a third of the map and haven't even started truly backtracking yet either. Oh, that's fun. That's a lot of fun. A little bit of soul and healing back before we drop down. There's fun little orange bugs hanging around. Sure, that's fine. Nothing to be concerned about. Let's press onward. You're not brooding, Malek, but you're still spewing a bunch of gunk everywhere. Can't say I'm a huge fan of that. Oh, I dashed right into that. I am not playing at my best right now. Heal me up, please. Oh, good. Oh, good. I'm sure not loving this at all. Ow. Oh yeah, the speed route actually says you can get something from down here if you want to. Oh, well, this is cool. I'm glad I came down here. Now this bug in particular, this I think is one of the residents of the Pale King's White Palace. They've got the all white guard. So they got something ate them. Now we have a simple key. So if we want to go to, say, like the Royal Waterways, now we can do that. We have ourselves a simple key. We didn't have to spend, what was it, like 800 geo Get one from Sly. The absolute highway robbery that is. Stop it. Alrighty, let's see. We're getting pretty close now. Open this back up. And a little bit closer to maxing out my soul gauge. Really matter? One thing I did not know about this game does. I didn't know this game had a sort of adaptive difficulty when it comes to bosses. Turns out, the more nail upgrades you have, the higher the boss's health becomes. Doesn't affect regular enemies, just bosses. The amount of attack increase you get from your nail upgrades does outpace the increase of health that the bosses all get. But it does make sense that they would boost the health of the bosses at least somewhat, so that getting nail upgrades doesn't absolutely trivialize every single fight in the game, especially the earlier one. But hey, don't they look familiar? Got some pretty impressive horns, though. Let's see what they have. Nope. No thoughts, head empty. Oh boy. Oh, the goop. They're gooping them. I will have to read that message in a little bit because we've got the broken vessel. He likes to jump. He likes to dab. But he also likes to slack. And he also goops. He goopa very much. Ow. I am doing a terrible job dodging that. Dude, stop. Stop with the goop. Cease your goopage. Ow. Cease the goopage. Stop that. Yeah, broken vessel does not have very much health. God, the way that they reach out to us in their final moment is such an easily missable animation, too. Wow. That is a very important fight. For multiple reasons. First off, of course, the lore. They do look a lot like us. And there is something to that. We won't be getting to that today. But very, very interesting. We've seen a couple of other beings that look very similar to us, just a little bit different. Because Hornet had one in the green path when we first saw her. And now us having fought this broken vessel. Interesting stuff. Also, musically very important because it introduces that ongoing motif, the bum 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 bum. The same that you can hear on the title screen. That musical motif is very important. We will be hearing that again later. Now we have the Monarch wings. Now we have, basically, a double jump. For all intents and purposes, a double jump. And this is normally, I think this is all that's needed to get an ending of the game. I think we could, in theory, go to the 3 Dreamers, and then to the Black Egg Temple, and then finish the game and get the basic ending. That's basically what you do for the speed route that I followed, at least. We're going to be doing a little bit more than that, though. Well, a little bit more, I guess, maybe underselling it somewhat. Now, you may notice we're seeing some little essence trails emanating from the defeated broken vessel here. With the Dream Nail in hand, we have access to Dream Realm rematches with the bosses. So we can fight a beefed up version of the boss and try to get more essence. But that is beyond the scope of what we're going to be tackling today. I think, is there anything else in Ancient Basin that we're doing right now? Peek up here. Money. Money is what's up here. Sure. Good. I love the sounds these guys make. Very ghostly. Whoop. Just barely missed it. Try that again. Now I can read that message actually here. The amount of stuff to explore has been overwhelming and exciting and stressful simultaneously. I hope I'm trying to progress faster than I might because I want to be in the forefront of Silksong in a sense. Yeah. Yeah, I get that. I'm going to do my best to simultaneously resist the temptation to go rush through it, but also realizing that I'm going to have to dodge spoilers for longer as a result. I probably won't go like super far out of my way to do absolutely everything the first time through. Like, I'll generally probably be trying to follow whatever main path is obvious to me. But I'm certainly not going to cut myself off from too much exploration. Oh, this is the palace grounds. Oh. Let me check something real quick. Okay. You can't do this yet. This is here. Good keep in mind that this is here. You have this hidden station. Do not have enough money to activate it, unfortunately. We can have Lil sit down. And I think that's where we will call it for now. I think I have an idea of where we need to go next time. I can actually set us up. I think where we need to go next is back to King's Station in the city. This is where we will continue next time. I believe this is close to the Kingdom's Edge, which is where we need to go next. At least if we want to see Hornet the maximum number of times that I can reasonably figure to be able to. Plus, there's a sense of competition for me to keep pace and get achievements while under 10% of players have gotten them. That's fair. This is a pretty fun thing to go for. Just to try and be on the forefront of that as well. And I hope you have fun with it. somewhat beholden to this revisitation, so I'm not worried about being on the absolute bleeding edge of all the Silksong stuff. But I'm sure it'll be a great time. The fact that the only couple of things I've seen about Silksong are some very obviously tongue-in-cheek memes about it having super, super bad reviews is pretty much all I need to know. In fact, that's the only thing I've seen so far about the game is some very, very ironic memes about the game just having such low ratings and people being like, this is why you shouldn't rush out indie games. I think that's a pretty good sign that the game is doing very well for itself. And that the community is also enjoying it heavily. I look forward to getting to that next time. Now, on that note, we may be done today because I do have other things going on today. Can't do like an extended length stream because of all that. Here's what I was thinking though. Because we're making pretty decent progress, and I do want to get to Silksong sooner rather than later, I've been thinking about this, and I think I'm gonna commit to it here. I think I'm gonna commit to it. I am committing to this. I don't know exactly what time. I might start at the same noon time, but tomorrow. What do y'all think of a back-to-back double feature of Hollow Knight? Maybe we do a longer stream if necessary tomorrow, when I don't have external obligations, and we can see if we can get that ending, huh? We might dip a little bit more into usage of some of the more convenient mods, just to keep the wheels spinning a little bit if we get too hung up in a specific pain point or anything like that. But I think that tomorrow would be a pretty good option because that way we have more of open time to go as long as we need to get the ending that I'm going for. I don't know what time I will be starting tomorrow. I might still do the same noon time. That's probably a safe bet, just starting at the same time as I usually do, just noon central. I'm not 100% sure if I will do that exactly. So if you want to know when I would be going live, I always post it up on Blue Sky. And for anyone who's not on Blue Sky, I do still have the Twitter as well. I don't use Twitter for anything except the notifications for stream going live and all that sort of stuff. But Blue Sky is kind of like the main place that I engage with things. But just in case there's anyone who only has the Twitter and isn't on Blue Sky, figured it wouldn't hurt to leave that option up. So I will be posting there when I go live tomorrow. We'll see how long it takes for us to get to the ending that I'm hoping to get to. Because we're going to need a few more relics. But we're also going to need a lot more dream essence. We're gonna have to be fighting a lot of dream battles, whether we do those dream warrior battles or if we do boss rematches. Boss rematches are probably easier to find because we've already fought the bosses, so we can just re-find them and fight them there, in theory. There is also some overworld essence. Like we had the dream route we tapped into. Get the first 20 essence. That will all be for tomorrow. We'll be seeing more of Hornet pretty early into tomorrow's stream. That's what I kind of have us set up for right now, is to go that direction. But yeah, that will be it for me for today. We will be streaming again tomorrow. We'll be doing our Hollow Knight double feature because I am itching to get into Silksong and I don't want to necessarily have to wait another week to do so. So this is what all my preparation has built for. This is built towards. I'm gonna make this happen. So thank you all for being here and hanging out. Silksong's worth it for sure. I wouldn't have the patience to wait personally. Believe me, it is a conflicting issue for me. I think part of the pain point for me is that I only usually stream once a week. So only having 2 weeks notice before Silksong just drops made it a little difficult for me to work Hollow Knight into my usual schedule because we also had the Little Kitty Big City update last week. So just a lot going on all around this time. We'll make it work. I think we're on a pretty good track right now. We shouldn't need more than the one more stream to get it done, even if I have to more heavily lean on some of the mods. It depends on how it goes. Okay, so far, haven't died yet. I think that's pretty good. We are still early in the game, so it's less likely that would even happen to me, but still something. It's not for nothing. I wonder how many hits I've taken, though. Do I dare to look? 75 hits. Let's go. Let's go. 75 hits taken. But no deaths. Still doing pretty good in that regard. I think that's why I only have the death counter on screen, because I don't need the hit counter mocking me from the corner. But yeah, that will be it for me for today. I am gonna go wrap this up and then get to the other things I need to do today. And we will be back here tomorrow, probably at noon Central, same as today. No guarantees. That's what I'm going to try to aim for, I think. You can always follow the Blue Sky or the Twitter, and you will know as soon as I go live. Thank you all for being here and hanging out. Had a lot of fun sharing the Hollow Knight lore, and there's still more to come. Thank you all for being here and hanging out. Until the next stream, which is tomorrow. Take care, everyone.